Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for J. Sean. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, tier list ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is actually the last request. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your patience. I do appreciate it. Very kind of you. And sorry, I'm not sure how to go into this review, really. Because I've seen the film before, and I liked the film. I do like the film. But the ending... I don't know how to talk about this film without giving the ending away. Because I think it's pretty important. Well, okay, I'll warn people ahead of time. So, Bad Dreams from 1988, as you can tell from the title, is a film that I didn't grow up with. I remember seeing the cover for years, but I honestly didn't see it till many years later. And I do like the cat. Well, first off, the director would actually go on to direct The Craft. The first one, The Craft. The only... Well, I guess there's only two, but the good one. So he directed that. This was released by 20th Century Fox. And I like the cast. You got Jennifer Rubin, who was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors, which that'll be mentioned later. You got Richard Lynch, who is the bad guy in Invasion USA and many other films. I laugh because I always think now of my friend Uncle Bill getting his fucking poster ripped accidentally by Richard Lynch, who was drunk or whatever the fuck he was doing. Recipes of Richard Lynch, but apparently wasn't that great of a person then. Sorry. If Uncle Bill sees this, I mean, you got fucked. Rip your fucking poster, Jesus Christ. Anyway. Because he's like, hey, Richard Lynch, Invade USA. Wow, so I'm glad I paid for this poster. Because that's what I want. I want posters so they can be ripped. Thanks. Should have paid for that fucking poster and bought you a new poster. But anyway. You also have Bruce Abbott, who was in Reanimator. You have Dean Cameron, who I remember as Chainsaw from Summer School. He was also the pizza delivery guy at the Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez film Men at Work. Harris Yulin, I remember he was in Scarface. He was also the judge in Ghostbusters 2. So, a few recognizable people in this. And if you look at the trailer, if you look at the poster, if you look at the chunk of the movie, the first chunk, you would think it's a ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. Especially Part 3, The Dream Warriors. Because you have a psych ward, you have Jennifer Rubin, you got Dreams, where a psycho who's burnt up is seemingly killing people one by one. Sounds a bit like Elm Street 3. And I thought Jennifer Rubin did a good job as this girl who was part of this cult, kind of a Jim Jones type of cult called Unity Fields, where Richard Lynch, hey, death is just another step into whatever the fuck Twilight Zone this psycho wants to say. And is this commune. Eventually, we find out he set everybody on fire because they were all supposed to die, but Jennifer Rubin's character lived. It's 13 years later, she wakes up from her coma, and she's trying to be reintroduced to society, so she's in this psych ward for borderline personality disorders. And we see these other people. One of them is Dean Cameron, who has like a masochist edge to him. And there's a few other people. Bruce Abbott is the doctor. He's kind of like the Craig Wasson from Elm Street 3. It's kind of that guy. He's the doctor of the group. And then Harris Yulin is the boss of Bruce Abbott's character. Now, Jennifer Rubin, she starts seeing flashes of Richard Lynch. First, we see flashbacks, but then she starts seeing flashes. She sees him in the elevator or in the hallway, and sometimes it's Richard Lynch and sometimes it's burnt up. And when you do see the burnt makeup, it's pretty ghastly, very grisly, very good makeup effects. And they're not there long enough to notice any, at least to be the discrepancies, any fuck ups in the makeup. What you see is pretty good, nasty burnt face. And she's having these daymares, and then people start ending up dead. Now, I did the cast I do like. Everybody I mentioned, I think they do a good job. Some people don't like Team Cameron's sense of humor. I do. I actually thought he was an interesting character with how I think there's certain dialogue that I thought was funny. If I die, does my mom get a refund? I thought that was pretty funny. And like some of the stuff you find out about him, I kind of wish they did more with the character, because I think he was one of the more interesting people. Like, he opens up his shirt, you see that he cuts himself, he pokes holes into himself. How did he put it? To make the bad memories go, or something like that. I'm like, okay, this guy, kind of interesting. I was almost more interested in him than Jennifer Rubin, but I thought Jennifer Rubin, I felt sorry for her, I felt, pity for her. And, I liked her as an actress. I don't know why I stuttered there. But I do like her. Bruce Abbott, he's a guy I never really knew why he didn't get to do more movies. Because he had this film didn't do much, but Reanimator. But it's too bad, because I always thought he did a good job. There's a couple bits of blood, and I wouldn't say tons of gore, but there's some bloody moments. Which I'll get into as spoilers. Interesting soundtrack, because at the beginning of the film, there's a song, "The Time Has Come Today." Definitely a song I've heard quite a few times, and whether it be Vietnam movies or such. And then at the end of the film, at the end credits, is "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses. Because at this point, no one knew who the fuck Guns N' Roses were. And I forget what song, but there was another song they were going to have for the end credits. And then a producer went, "Oh, actually, we have this song. Sounds pretty good." Now, granted, what the song has to do with the movie, I don't know. Because if you listen to the song, I like the song. I don't mind Guns N' Roses. I like "Sweet Child of Mine." Sweet child of mine. Do-do-do. But I'm like, well, what the fuck does that have to do with the movie? I don't know what the hell sometimes in this period, sometimes you'd have songs that don't have anything to do with the movie. It's just, they like the song, but I guess maybe Richard Lynch would say maybe "Sweet Child of Mine," maybe. I guess. I know it's anorexic, like thin, like Ally McBeal type of thinness. But, it's a good song to put at the end credits. And they got it for peanuts. They got it for nothing. Because this was before Guns N' Roses were a huge thing. Not only it helped the movie, because I don't think the movie did that well. I gotta get into spoilers. I have to. So I like the film. But I think the twist ending probably is what makes it not have as much of a cult following as you would think it would have. And I'm split on the... Because part of me likes it because it's a bit different. It's kind of interesting. I think, though, it's a bit rushed. Everything's not 100% clear on why and how certain things happened. And yeah, it does feel a bit rushed. It feels like there's a little bit more that needs to be like built upon with this idea. And I think it misled a lot of people where it tricked them and they felt pissed. I can imagine a lot of people, well, yeah, fuck it. I can imagine a lot of people were pissed off when they first saw this film. Because look at the poster. Look at the trailer. Jennifer Rubin, who was in Elm Street 3. Wasn't there something on the... Okay, I was seeing if there on the poster there's anything about Nightmare, but a lot of the marketing wanted to push that Elm Street motif. Because Elm Street films were huge, and Elm Street 3 made a lot of money. And I don't need... Elm Street 4 came out the same year, but this might have come out before Elm Street 4. I can't remember. Because Elm Street 4, I think, was August. This might have been earlier. But anyway, it's not a Nightmare on Elm Street type of film, though. You think it is. The first half you think it might be. But it's not. And that's why certain things couldn't be done, and they had to direct things a certain way to kind of keep in tune with the twist. You find out that it's not Richard Lynch back from the grave. They gave you a bunch of bullshit. It's not him back from the grave. It's not supernatural shenanigans. It's... Okay, if I could explain this right. Harris, the judge from Ghostbusters 2, the boss of the doctor, Bruce Abbott's boss, Harris Yulin is giving all the patients different type of pills to make them really high dosed and hallucinogens and psycho tendencies, and I guess trying to get them to all believe in Jennifer Rubin's Unity Fields cult thing. Because then they all start ending their lives. And then he's pushing Jennifer Rubin to end her life. Because it's going to somehow prove his theory. I don't even remember what the fuck the theory he had was. I guess to control people's will. Or... I don't know, group hypnosis? I don't even fully understand what the fuck his theory was. They was trying to prove. And also, was this really the best way to do it? And then, like, Bruce Abbott finds out, but he doesn't kill Bruce Abbott. He just knocks him out. I'm like, why you knocking him out? He's gonna fucking... what? I mean... You could kill him and blame it on Jennifer Rubin, and she's psycho. And you want her to end her own life anyway, so you should just had kill Bruce Abbott, and then she did all these things, or she killed him and jumped off the roof herself. So again, I don't know. A lot of it really doesn't make sense if you really dive deep into it. It's like. So number one, it's a lot to take in a short amount of time. It's interesting, but I think they should have really developed more of it. And number two, people felt tricked. They felt misled. Now, people you say, isn't that a good thing? It is. But sometimes, if you go into a pizza, you want a pizza, not a steak. The steak may taste good, but I came in here for a pizza and I want the pizza. Some people do feel that way. Now, I won't say what it is. Okay, April Fool's Day from 1986. I love that film. Without getting into it, I'm sure people felt the same way about that film. But I love that movie. I love the direction it went. This, again, I'm conflicted. It was interesting, but part of me wonders if it went the other way, how that would have been as well. Would it have been more successful? Did it get a bad word of mouth at the time? And people go, what the fuck? I don't know. And the thing is, because that's the twist, you couldn't really have a whole lot of Richard Lynch being like Freddy Krueger to the other characters. Because that's not what the story was. So you just have, okay, one person's found drowned. One person, Jennifer Rubin's trying to get after, and you find out that the person has jumped out of a building. The most grisly one to me is you have this couple. They look at a turbine fan. It cuts to the power is shifty. Someone's looking, and all this blood and guts and a hand fall down, and each of the vents drip blood because the bodies went into there and went through the ventilation system. And so when there's vents, blood dripped down and showered people. I thought that was a cool scene. I like Dean Cameron's reaction, like, what the fuck is this? Just that's the reaction I would have. And then Dean Cameron's death scene, I do wish he didn't die, I will say. Just I like him as an actor. I love him as Chainsaw in Summer School. And I liked his character. I liked his sense of humor. I wish he didn't have to die. And that's why I believe that the doctor was trying to make them think they were in the cult, because he keeps mentioning it. And then he stabs himself. First off, earlier, he put his hand through a knife, and he pulled it out, and then he acted as if it was nothing. I mean, it was a big fucking knife, too. It was about as big as his fucking phone. When his hand went through, it was a... Okay, imagine the phone, maybe like to here, maybe. Like it was a pretty big fucking knife, and he just went, pulls it off, and then he's like holding it like there's a goddamn, because there's like a guard there. He's holding it like there's a goddamn paper cut, and I'm like, dude, it's a knife, like a Rambo knife, and you just put your hand through it. You could bleed to death from that. So I thought that was weird. He just acted, and like, do you not? I get that he's a masochist, but there's still pain. Okay, you're not Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse. Pain actually does hurt. But fucking... So that was... I mean, I remember when I saw the trailer, and I thought, oh, it's going to be like a fake hand he put in there. Or he's like mind controlled. Kind of like... Or like Elm Street 3, where the guy... Have a nice stroll, asshole. You know, something like... But that's... That was not the case. That was him doing one of his cutting things. But he put like a whole fucking Rambo knife in his hand. I'm like... But then when he dies, he puts like things in and he pulls it down. Now you don't see a whole lot of like... That's about enough you see. You don't see anything more than that. So I wonder if stuff was cut out or not. And then you have Bruce Abbott. He actually accidentally gets hit with something, and then he like imagines that he's running over Harris Yulin's character over and over and over again until his car blows up, and then he wakes up. So I guess that's how he realizes there's like some weird drug hallucinogen thing. I guess he pricked his finger on. But then the others, apparently they took pills. Something, which is it? Is it because of an injection or because of pills? Because I guess these other people, they had pills. But the one he had was, whatever. And actually, wasn't it... Sorry, I gotta look up something. Because I think there might be another Elm Street reference in this. Isn't Charles... I think it was Charles Fleischer in Bad Dreams. I want to make sure. Yeah, it was. Because he was a doctor in A Nightmare on Elm Street. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh, that's another reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. It's Charles Fleischer, who is a doctor in this as well. Just Bruce Abbott is like, what the hell's going on? And what was the judge from Ghostbusters 2? I always forget his name. Harris Yulin. What was he doing? Oh, the pill's over here. And of course, Charles Fleischer is the voice of Roger Rabbit. But he was in A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm like, that'd be funny if it was the same name and he was playing the same character from A Nightmare on Elm Street. And he just moved to this place. I mean, they could have done that and just linked it to two. I've seen weirder. Apparently, the reporter Gale in Die Hard is also in Ricochet. With Denzel. It's the same actress and the same character name. I'm like, really? But anyway. And the ending... That's the thing. The ending was kind of weak. I think that's why I don't love the film, because the ending, like, because of the twist, like, Richard Lynch can only do so much. And when he's there, he's good, but he can't really interact with the other victims, so the victims are just doing their own thing. And it is an interesting idea, and it's a pretty touchy subject with ending your own life. But then she's about ready to jump off. Bruce Abbott holds her for like 3 minutes. And while she's going through this whole flashback, and the doctor's like just stab him in the hand with a fucking needle. And then like the cops come, and then he's saying Bruce Abbott did it, and then Bruce Abbott saying no, he did it. And like Harris just barely tries to explain. He goes straight to take the gun and doing this, then doing this, then Jennifer Rubin pushes him off the roof, and then she has a daymare of Richard Lynch, but then snaps out and hugs Bruce Abbott. And then I heard maybe at one point they wanted to do sequels. I don't know if this is true, but I remember reading somewhere that there was thoughts of doing sequels, and there was thoughts of Richard Lynch returning, but I don't know how that would be, because he wasn't afraid... Unless they don't turn him into one. Which I swear they've done that in a movie where he was a... I swear there's been a movie where he was a fit... Anyway. I don't know. Unless they were going to try to do the supernatural in the sequel. I don't know, man. And then Sweet Child of Mine plays. Which again is a bit of a weird choice. I mean, I like the song, but I'm like, how does this fit with the movie? So that's me. The ending is different. I wouldn't say it's cookie cutter, but because it's rushed and because it's pretty tricky with the plotting, with the making sense, like why was the doctor like how do you think he was going to get away with this, or certain things he did. Again, it felt like a lot more needed to be further intricately plotted for that to really work as successful as he wanted it to be. So really all you have for me is a cast I liked, a couple little gory parts, the burnt stuff of Richard Lynch. Really, two of the deaths are gory. The others you don't see a whole lot of. And an ending that is interesting, but I think could rub people the wrong way and trip people into not really getting what you pay for. So, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I would be more down with the ending if it was better fleshed out. It just felt a bit rushed. As soon as you're trying to understand it, then we're at the end, and then it's just Bruce Abbott holding on to the girl for like 3 fucking minutes, which isn't the most exciting scene. It's not the most exciting stuff. That's just me. But I don't hate the film. I like it, but it's not a film I rewatch a lot. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.